This next section is on assessment for learning, assessment as a part of learning. Originally, assessment was used mostly in its summative way. Here's what you know, here's what you've done, here's your grade. You can stamp that on your report card and say what you know and send you on your way. Recently, assessment has become used in different ways to help promote the learning process as well. One of the most common ways is formative assessment. Formative assessment being assessment for learning. So let's say someone's doing a science experiment, and you see that the seal on the Erlenmeyer flask, where it connects to, I don't know, some other pressure, some other source of gas, isn't quite properly attached, and the flow of the gas into the flask might not be working properly. And you see this, and it means the experiment's not going to go well. So the teacher could go to the students and ask them, is there anything about that seal that looks unusual to you, or what do we learn about the seals in class? How should they look? How should they feel? Should there be any space here? You can ask some guiding questions. The students will pick up on the mistake they've made. It's formative, but they're still able to continue along the learning process. So the correction has helped them because you assessed what they knew there, and now you're moving along to the next step. It's assessment for learning. Now they are able to learn. Something that's been new to me in this course, although I've experienced it before, but I didn't know what to call it or how to put a name on it, is assessment as learning. So this is using evaluative, self-evaluative and peer evaluative and teacher evaluative assessments to understand where you are at and what you need to do to keep moving forward. So this requires extensive use of rubrics. Evidence-based rubrics that are easily interpreted and very clear in their demands. So if a student is working and the teacher sees their work and takes it in and they say, okay, you've got a 2 on this section because some of your words were misspelled, your graph wasn't titled, you didn't draw the line of best fit among all the points, so that's why you got a 2. A 3 would be you drew the line of best fit, your graph was partially titled, most words were spelled correctly. Okay, I understand there's really clear criteria about what I can do to move up there. And there's different sections of this. So the student sees the assessment and they know what they know, which is important, and they know what they need to do to get to the next step. So the assessment helps them learn what they need to do, what they know and what they need to learn. Rather than a 9 out of 10 would give them a different understanding of what they've done, okay, or an 8 out of 10, whatever. So this can be used by the teacher providing the rubric, but over time the students can begin to self-evaluate. The teacher gives them the rubric and they say, well, I see that based on this, there's most words are spelled correctly, the line of best fit is included, the title is included, but I forgot to label my X and Y axis, so I'm a 3, I'm not a 4 yet. And there might be some other criteria in there as well that they'll be able to understand. And they can see themselves, it's fact-based, it's evidence-based, it's not made up, what they need to do to improve. Moving on from there, the final step of assessment as learning is when students develop the rubrics themselves. So then they can say, well, here's what I think the criteria should be, because here's what I believe about the learning. And then once they're using that rubric, they can say, did I meet the criteria? Was I reasonable in setting out that criteria? And it really pushes them along the path of developing their own learning and being not just a participant in their own learning, but actually the driving force, as opposed to having the school or the curriculum of the teacher be that force. So I see assessment as learning as a really powerful tool. Formative assessment is very useful as well. But I think assessment as learning is something that we're going to see a lot more of in the future. Thanks.